Hi, I'm Bill from CJ Pony Parts. So far, we're real happy with the performance we've gotten from the bolt-on changes we've done to our Focus ST. We're currently running a Cobb tune along with a Cobb cold air intake, a Vortec frontman intercooler, and a Borla exhaust system. The last restriction to horsepower with our factory parts is going to be the downpipe. The downpipe is the gateway from your turbo to your catback exhaust system. A high-flow downpipe will allow the turbo to work more efficiently and make more power. So today we're going to move our factory downpipe and replace it with this off-road downpipe from MBRP. Since we're not worried about emissions, we wanted the highest flow possible, which is why we chose the off-road version here, which does not include a catalytic converter. It's going to be just a straight pipe down. It's 3-inch T304 stainless steel with this 4-inch coupler. Includes the downpipe itself, a new gasket, mounting hardware, and this extension pipe here, which will work if you're running an MBRP exhaust system. If you're running a stock or other aftermarket system, you will not need this. Before we get started, we'll fire it up with the stock downpipe with our Borla catback. For this installation, you'll need a lift or a jack and jack stands, 3/8 ratchet, 17mm socket, 13mm socket, 10mm socket, T30 Torx bit, 12-inch extension, 15mm wrench, 13mm wrench, oxygen sensor or 7/8 wrench, anti-seize, and safety glasses. We're going to start the installation of our MBRP downpipe under our hood by disconnecting the oxygen sensors. There's two ways to do this. We found coming in from the top, you usually can get one if not both plugs. If you can't, you can get them from the bottom, but there's a lot less room, especially with the pipe in the way, so we're going to try to get them off from the top. You want to move your sound composer tube, disconnect that and pull that out of the way first. Then this harness right here is a little clip back here. Remove that as well, give us a little more room. Push that up out of the way and get your arm back in there. We'll start by disconnecting our catback from our factory downpipe. Moving forward, disconnect the factory hanger bracket from the cross member. Next, we've got to separate the downpipe from the turbo and from the factory mounting bracket up front. To do so, you'll want to remove the splash pan that's usually in the way here by removing the T30 Torx bolts, and then you can get up to the downpipe. Start with the two lower nuts on the bracket. If you're considering doing a rear engine mount, this is an excellent time to do it when you're doing the downpipe. The mount is right here. So basically you got to remove all this stuff to get to it anyway. It's a perfect time to change it out. Now remove the two nuts that hold the downpipe to the bracket. Remove the nuts, the insert, and the plate. You can try to get the bracket off. Sometimes you can get enough play up here that it will come off. Other times you got to remove the downpipe first. Ours is on there pretty good, so we're going to loosen up the downpipe and the bracket will come out with it. Now we'll loosen the clamp, holds it to our turbo. Normally the clamp's simply going to come off. In our case though, it got stuck between the turbo and the downpipe. You'll just have to work with a hammer and a pry bar to get it off. There we go. Now we can remove the bracket. Now you just sort of got to wrestle this out here. It's going to sometimes be one of the tougher parts to get this thing out. You can see a side-by-side comparison of our stock downpipe versus our MBRP. You can obviously see, first of all, the tubing is much larger, Plus the bends are much better. You can see a nice restriction down here, much smoother here. Definitely gonna free up some power, especially by eliminating the catalytic converter. I'll move our oxygen sensors over to our new downpipe. Put a little anti-seize on, then we're actually gonna install it in the same location on our new pipe. This will be the upstream. We'll do the same thing with the downstream. And our new downpipe's ready to install. Before we put it up into place, you want to install the gasket between the pipe and the turbo, as well as the lower bracket. There's little nubs on this that will hold it in place. Just press it over. And ready to put up into place. I'm going to make sure you are careful with the oxygen sensors. You reuse the factory V-bang clamp. I'm going to put the bolts into the rear bracket, which will help us line up the downpipe with our turbo. We can reinstall the factory bracket. I'll install the factory plate and spacers using the supplied hardware. Now we'll connect our new downpipe to our cat back. As you fish the oxygen sensors up, again, move the lines out of the way here so we can get in there and reattach them. We'll get the sensors mounted, reconnect this harness. This little plastic clip goes in the metal piece back here. Reinstall our sound imposer tube if you still have it. And our installation is finished. Before you take your Focus for a test drive after a downpipe install, we suggest loading a new tune. Even if you go with a catted version, the efficiency of the catalytic will most likely trip a check engine light. If you go with an off-road version like ours, it's definitely going to trip it, so you want to tune it properly before you take it for a drive. Now that we have the proper map loaded, let's see how it sounds. Noticeably louder than it was with the stock downpipe, but to be honest, it's not as loud as I thought it was going to be. It sounds really good with the boiler with our MBRP catless downpipe. The MBRP off-road downpipe gave our Focus a nice aggressive tone without being overly loud. The piece fits well, so installation should only take you around an hour and a half. Next time out, we'll get our ST back on the dyno. Now we've got full bolt-ons, we'll see what kind of power it's making. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel for more updates on our Project Focus.